Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Women Are Worthy Network. I'm so glad to see y'all. It's Monday. Happy Thanksgiving, belated Thanksgiving. We know you guys ate a lot, so you filled your body, right? It's the end of the year. And when I tell you we needed to have this spectacular woman on this show, we needed her. So as I said, we're now approaching. No, we're in November. We're approaching December. We've had a great Thanksgiving. We fed our bodies. Now, guess what I'm bringing y'all? Someone and something to feed your mind because it's been 2021 has been challenging to say the least. So we have the I'm just so excited to have this lady. Let me bring it down. Let me bring it down. We have a visionary, right? Her name is Mesha, and her last name is pronounced Mabin. Am I saying
Meb-
it right? Mabin. Mesha,
Mebane.
huh?
Mebane.
Mesha Mebane. Love
Yes.
that name. Mesha Mebane. It just rolls off your tongue. Mesha Mebane. She's the founder and CEO of Infrared Vision. What kind of that name alone is telling you she's taking us to the top. So Misha, her mission is to change the mindset of the 40 plus community from fixed to growth.
Yeah.
Baby, when I say I got to give her props, she's talking about 40 plus, y'all. 40 plus. People be forgetting about that niche, right?
Right.
So she wants to make sure that people are truly living and not just existing.
Ooh,
So
clap. You said that.
girl, because some of us are just existing because of what's going on. And to be honest, Misha, some of us are plain old freaking exhausted from what's
Yes.
going on. So her process is to redefine, rebuild, and restore. Let me tell y'all, that's trademark. That is trademarked. Okay. So we want you to tap into the program and just bring your sangria. Bring your Pinot Grigio, bring your water, bring your beer, whatever it is you need. This is the time for us to have conscious conversations because the world is hurting. People don't know where to turn, especially in the African American community. We don't want to ask people for help. We think we can do it ourselves. Or, okay, don't jump on me now. Y'all think y'all can pray it away. Praying, faith without works is dead. So,
What? Yes. Come
baby,
on now. Come on now.
we
You
gonna
just said a
preach.
mouthful already.
I'm telling you. So, Misha is here to give us the tools because I'm telling you, Misha, when I tell you I ain't joking, I got my pad and I got my pencil. Okay. So, the Women Are Worthy Network, we are so proud to have Miss Mesha Mebane on our show to just talk about things that we need to get through the next steps. I'm big on vision boards. I'm big on growth and mindset. So without further ado, y'all, let's give it up for the queen.
All right now. I like being called a queen. I can't even lie. And everybody who is listening, whether you're male or female, you should also call yourself queen and king. You need to reposition your mindset to call yourself what you are. And you are, if you're a male, you're a king. If you're a female, you're a queen. And you just need to get into your rightful mindset position. So I'm going to let you ask me what you want to ask me, Jackie, because I can talk. So sometimes I have to be reeled in and allow people to ask me questions and then we can flow and go.
And me and you both, honey, because baby, we got to talk. you know. So, this show is important to me. This platform, and especially you being a guest today, we want to talk about this because, as I mentioned, it's the end of the year. Why wait till February to jumpstart and change our growth and mindset? Let's do it now. So, thanks to you, we have the opportunity to get a head start with this, right?
Right,
So,
right.
Misha, tell us briefly about yourself. Misha, who's Misha?
Who Misha is? Okay. Misha is just a a woman who has been through a lot of adversity, just like a lot of us. And I arrived to my actualization. I call it actualization of myself. I am 55. I don't hide my age because I enjoy the fact that I don't look like it. But I am 55 and I arrived to my actualization. If you ever go out to infraredvision.org at the age of 43. And I use that as a pinpoint because by that time, my story, I had been through a divorce, a loss of a child. I start a lot of my interviews off this way because it is a pivotal point. I had a couple of job layoffs, just a whole lot of stuff in a short period of time. And my new life began when I moved from Dayton, Ohio to the DMV area because what I left behind was family, friends, an area that I had lived in for 20 plus years, and I hadn't lived too many other places besides Indianapolis, Indiana, where I moved around with my ex husband. But I spent most of my life people pleasing. And if you know about people pleasing, when you're busy pleasing other people, you're not really developing yourself. So Mesha is a God fearing woman who her best friend is the Lord. And my instructor and my boss in the last 15 years has been God. I do not shy away from godly principles. I will let you know that I've leaned on them to get up off my face after the loss of my one and only child, all job losses, any transition that I've ever had. So I am just a simple woman, just like you, Jackie, who desires just to be held in the arms of God and just figure out what my next is. And that's what I did at the age of 43, where he helped me redefine, rebuild, and restore. So at the age of 52, I started infrared vision because I was thanking God for my life after a cancer scare and sitting at this very desk. And he started downloading to me about infrared vision, what its purpose was, what he wanted me to do with it. And it really is about you, the public that is listening, less about me, where I'm humbling myself to be used to help the 40 plus community redefine, rebuild, and restore. And the key thing I want to bring out, Jackie, before I turn it back to you, God wants us, the message that I have to bring forth every time I have an interview is that we need to have a infrared vision. People talk about vision, but he gave me the name of infrared vision. And someone mentioned this to me in Tea Talks with Mesha a couple weeks ago. The term red is not just a color, but infrared brings heat. And it also, if you get deep into your spiritual self, you will find that if you spend time with God, infrared, the term is the ability to see something in the dark. But we have to, as we evolve in this world, which is getting more complex every single day, we have to develop not just a vision, but an infrared vision. And the reason why is that if you are operating in life just going around the same old mulberry bush, we have some people think this is pie in the sky kind of stuff. It's not. These are the reasons why these things are here and available to us when we talk about these kinds of conversations that are deeper than just your general conversation of hi and bye. You have to get into a mindset where you have to have an infrared vision, because in the word, which infrared vision is based off of, is Proverbs 29:18, that people will perish for the lack of a vision. Now I'm going to turn this back over to you because I want to ask you, why do you think God said people will perish for the lack of a vision? I'm going to turn that back over to you and see what you say.
My question, my response to that is people will perish. First of all, we have the information here. We have it here. So our job, again, you know, faith without works is dead. So
Exactly.
you have to be able, if you're saying, because we do a lot of talking, let's be honest. Everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to be comfortable. Everybody wants to take care of their family. But a lot of people don't want to do the work that it takes. So
Come
when you
on.
said, infrared, for me, and I'm going to be honest, I did a show a couple of weeks ago, and I said, I need to take myself to the next level. What is preventing me from taking myself to the next level? Distractions. I've been distracted lately. So I've been having that laser infrared. I'm okay, for those watching, I'm allowed to use the word infrared because I have the trademark person right here, so I can use it. No, but to
Go
have
ahead, use
that
the terminology, use laser focus, use all of it.
to have that focus where if you're not part of my tribe, if we're not like-minded, I don't want to have anything to do with it. So again, going back to that is we don't do the work. That's why we perish. Lack of knowledge. We don't do the research. We're not asking people. A closed mouth don't get fed. What's the word? You have to ask people. That's why you're also part of my tribe, because you're helping me get to the next level by this conversation. I don't just do these shows and just, oh, that's it. I do the homework behind it. So Diane Parker said, yes, spend time with God. He will reveal his infrared vision for you. And that is so true. Everything we want is in that Bible. Everything that we want is when we have those conversations with him. So you mentioned to us about how it was born, and so my question is to you, why do you think people, right, particularly now, people are dying and people are still existing and not living? Why do you think that's still happening?
Right. So I can tell you've been on my website. So when you hit my website page, it asks you a specific question right then and there. Are you a living or are you just existing? And the reason why I can speak on that is because I've been on both sides of the fence. Before 43, my life was just simply a situation where I was just like everybody else. I was told to go ahead and get that job. Grow up. The stuff that your parents tell you. Get a job, find a man, have kids, all those kinds of things. And for me, what was not discussed is what if that is not you. So for Misha, what is it? What happened is when I tried to become a mother and I lost my ability to have children, or I lost my child. So I lost ability to have children. So everybody doesn't have the white picket fence. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about the fact that everyone, even though there's a standard out there in the world, what is it that is going on in your life? I hear a lot of people, like you said, talking about trying to reach a six-figure goal or $1 million goal, and that is really not the key to happiness. Uh, the whole thing about having a fixed mindset is when I was in it, I'm mimicking what I was educated by my family. All right. So if we're all growing up and we're all getting our education and we're all trying to get property, buy a house, get a husband or a wife, and have kids, is that really life? Is that really living? No, it's not. It is some standard requirements, but for me, if I tried being married and it didn't work out because I lost my child and we didn't get along after that, so I got a divorce. So that's adversity number one. If you lose the child, and I did, so and the ability to be a mother, then that's number two. That's another set of adversity. So come through that, get on the other side of it, and you have to redefine who you are. I was just having this conversation with a couple people a couple weeks ago. Stop trying to define yourself through titles. When you ask me who Misha is a simple, beautiful queen. Yes, I call myself beautiful. If you don't think you're beautiful, then nobody else will. So, simple, beautiful queen who wants to help people understand that there's more to life than living on a fixed mindset, converting over to a growth mindset, and also living from existing to living, because I've been on both sides of the fence. I will tell you the difference between me now and a growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. Fixed mindset, Mesha would have worked for somebody for the rest of her life. Growth mindset, Mesha had a conversation with God. He gave her a vision, and now I've been set free. I'm not going to use that terminology. I
Like
use
a
the
plantation.
terminology. I use the terminology in another in another interview, and it wasn't received very well. You said it, I didn't, but I'm set free for the last 6 years. All right. But if you would have asked me 20 years ago, would I have been an entrepreneur? I would have said, Jackie, no, you're crazy. Not me? What? No, because like you said, faith without works is dead. The belief in yourself, the confidence, we all want security. We're afraid to jump the fence and try something new. New in 2002, write this down. New in 2002, the word new should become a part of your regular vocabulary.
I
It
like that.
should become a part of your regular vocabulary. People over 40 and 50, I'm not knocking the fact that you may have found whatever it is that that you thought, but times are changing so rapidly right now, especially during COVID, that new should become a part of your vocabulary. You need a new skill, you need a new job, you need a new vision, you need a lot of things that are new, that are non-materialistic.
I'm feeling you right there because I can relate to you, and I'm writing down, I'm posting that in the comments because I worked in healthcare. I was making six figures, and I'm one of those chicks because I come from an entrepreneurial background, like my grandparents and stuff. What I chose, everyone thought I was crazy, right? The company that I worked for years ago, we were working from home. And when we were working from home, people thought that was crazy. Like, how dare my company spend all this money having people work from home? We were the original work from home folks, right? But I started thinking, Jackie, you're smart, you're intelligent, you're a queen, and you got this. You're making good money, but think about what you're doing, how much money you're making then. That you're, even though you're making good money, you should be making more money than that, but you're making them richer. Now, this is not, again, this platform is non-judgmental. If you're a 9 to 5er, it's okay to be a 9 to 5er.
Yeah, so not everybody's cut out to be an entrepreneur,
Right.
right?
Not everyone. You have worker bees and you have queen bees. Not everybody want to be a queen bee. Some people want to be a worker bee, and that's fine. So we're not, this is not a judgmental space. That's not what we're talking about here. But for me, I wanted more. I wanted to be in charge of my money. So 4 years going on now. When I jumped without a net. God told me to do this, and I listened, and I'm like, and I jumped, and I said, this. And when you want to do something, and if it's, and please correct me if I'm wrong, if this is something God has ordained for you to do, He will bring the resources, He will bring the people, as long as you're doing the work. And for everyone who's watching this, you have that talent. So many millionaires are in the graveyard, right? They've died because they didn't tap into their purpose. So, listening to what Mesha has to say and all the great jewels, get your pen and paper, because I just love the jewels that you're dropping right now. I feel like we getting black diamonds right now from you, black diamonds. So,
Well, let me ask this. Has anyone ever read the book Prayer of Jabez? Because I'm spiritually based when it comes to what I read, what I talk about, who I hang around. Again, there's no joke to me.
right.
Being with God and getting these things from Him is not a joke. It's for real. It's for the reason. The reason why He told you to become an entrepreneur, because He felt that you did have all the skills and the ability to do whatever at your particular time, and He's letting you know, Jackie, it's time.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. I feel by the time that anyone could disagree with me, that's what we're here on this show. We can agree to disagree with each other. But I believe by the time that you are 40 and 50, God has given you enough education, experience, and everything that you need, where a lot of people are definitely not cut out to be an entrepreneur, but you can look at your resume and find out what are my sharpest skills, abilities, and things that maybe I can monetize on. Because for me, I became a CEO of Infrared Vision 3 years ago, but 5 years ago, I looked at my resume because I was tired of looking for a job, and I said, what one skill can I monetize on? And that was sales. So I took my sales abilities and skills and offered it to a company who needed independent contractors to help them grow their business. And now I help them grow their business by $1 million a year. I negotiate the percentage that they pay me. So therefore, I don't have to go work on a day job because I'm negotiating contracts for
Mhm.
me. So, what I want to tell everyone out there is that if you have something burning in your heart and your mind about a skill that you have, and you're tired of looking for a job for someone to see your value, you see your value, you turn it around, and you start calling companies and making yourself an independent contractor or something and saying, hey, I do X very well, and I do Y very well, and I do Z. And this is the service or the skill that I have to offer you. And you monetize yourself.
My question to you is what one significant client that after you've helped them, you're still, when you think about them, you're still beaming because you've given them the tools, they've progressed to the next level. And when you think about it, you're like, wow, I had a hand in it. God had a hand in it, but I had a hand in it. So every time when you think about their name, you just smile. You beam like a mama bear.
Well, it's the current contract that I've had for 12 years. When I first started with them, they were billing like at 485,000 for the year, and I've been with them 12 years. And over the last 5 years, I've helped them grow their business by $6 million. It's documented. So they are still a part of my repertoire, as far as customers. And and I've developed infrared since being with them. And I went to them and asked them. I said, hey, I started my own company. Would you like for me to exit your door? And they said, no, we still want you on our team. So that really makes me very proud in the sense that, there's been an integral part of my involvement with them. I don't really toot my own horn enough, to be honest with you. It's not because of any kind of insecurities. I find myself as a personality, I'm just very humble. Um, and it really is about my focus with infrared to help others grow and understand the difference between this fixed mindset and growth mindset attributes. Carol Dweck is the original individual who looked into fixed and growth mindset and did a lot of studying or what have you in the past. But what has happened is that basically when we hit certain age, we tend to stay stuck. We tend to get very, very stagnant, and it really is not the time to, I like to be expressive, sit back and lay back just because you feel X, Y, Z is done. Actually, you need to step up
Mhm.
because greater are your latter days. I always express this in every interview. God says, greater are your latter days than your first. Well, if greater are my latter days than my first, then that's not the time for me to sit back. I need to step up because a body in motion stays healthy and a
Mhm.
mindset in motion stays healthy. But I find that a lot of people are trying to operate now, today, in 2021, 2022, with a 2000 and 2010 and 2015 mindset.
And you can't have that mindset. So here's my question to you. And I ask everyone on the show, why is it important that women support each other?
First of all, it's very important that we support each other and collaborate because we're not that much different from each other. A lot of us have gone through, especially by this point in our lives, there are a lot of women that have gone through losses of children like me. There's a lot of women that have gone through a lot of job transitions like me. There's a lot of I am you, you are me. There's a lot of people who have gone through divorce, remarried, life transition. I mean, it's just life.
Right.
So honestly, we need to get out of the mindset of competition and more or less in the mindset of collaboration and really, really love and support each other. What you'll find if you follow Infrared Vision's content, I don't really talk about a whole lot about women empowerment. There's enough conversation going on women empowerment and things of that nature. It's a huge word, it's a nice word, but I'm into what you're talking about, Jackie. I totally relate to you is that action. Action is really what moves me. I love that people use big words, but unless I see it in action and in motion, something tangible that you can see that is making an impact, then I don't really get into it.
Mhm.
Because, like you said, faith without works is dead. We can have a vision, and the vision can be written down somewhere, put into a book. It can be on a notepad, it can be on a vision board. But unless you take that and run with it into actualization and implementation, I just said in an interview a couple weeks ago, we have a major disconnect with our mind, our mouth, and our feet. I'll repeat that again. We have a major disconnect with our mind, our mouth, and our feet. And until you bring those three things into total alignment and move in the direction that you really want to go, because you just got finished saying we do a lot of talking, but until you get that mind, that mouth, and that foot in the same direction, that's when true implementation can actually happen into your life. And right now, ego needs to be moved out the way as well.
Ooh, Lord, wait. That's a whole nother show. I just want to. Diana Parker said, because when I asked about why should women support each other and work together, she says because we need each other we need each other big time. That's a whole nother show. But when you said ego, I want to interject here. I know if we remove ego, life would be so much easier. What are your
I
thoughts?
I believe ego comes from just lack of understanding and insecurities, really. It's not a strength word to me. It's a weakness word. Because ego biblically means edging God out. That
Mhm.
means that you're just edging anything out that you feel that you're not comfortable with. And ego, if you move it aside and interject more humility, and keep your mind and your attitude open to, again, going back to new things, new mindset, new way of doing things, then possibly that's when growth can happen. Each person, including me, on any given day, we are both fixed and growth mindset individuals. Some are more fixed mindset individuals than growth because you haven't introduced yourself to understand how to grow. But we all have a fixed mindset voice and a growth mindset voice. You just need to be introduced to me and come to some of my classes to understand how to control some of that and switch over. A fixed mindset says to self a lot of things, a lot of negative things, a lot of boxed in thinking. No, I can't do that. No, I won't do that. No, I'm not going to entertain moving forward. If you, Jackie, was talking to a fixed mindset girlfriend, she'd be like, girl, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not going. You've heard that kind of talk. You understand? It's not her fault that she may be thinking or talking that way. It's just that if you're in a growth mindset aspect, you kind of either number one, uh, still love your girlfriend, but then you got to leave her over here because if you're constantly marinating in that thought process, we all become what we marinate in. So therefore, Jackie says, I love you, Misha, but however, I'm going to go hang over here with Diana because she's in a growth mindset aspect and you're going to be of and around like minded people. So therefore, you're growing over here with Diana, and you're growing, growing, growing because you guys are talking, you're vibing, you're moving, you're growing. And that's really what it's all about when you say, I want to be around of and like minded people.
And I agree with you because right now I don't have time or the energy to hang around people. Like, this is what I tell people. I'm straightforward, I'm very transparent. I am not the person to convince you to this is what you should be doing. My mission, my purpose is once you know what you want, I'm here to help you. You have people who have to, well, let me show you how you need to do this. And no, you need to do that. That's not me. That's not my bag. My bag is once you know and you need to get from point A to point B, support you and things like that. So you know and I don't have a problem if I'm meeting someone and they're not on the same page as me. What I try to and I do tell people, it's not that I'm flat leaving you or whatever. It's just that I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission right now, and I don't have time for distractions, because you can put people in different categories. You don't have to cut them off. You can put people in different categories. There's some that who are like-minded like you. There's some you can go hang out with and just, hey, hi, shoot the breeze and all that. You can do that. So for me right now, what's important is this is what I need to do. Now, as women, we got to bring this up because men are very good at this. What do you do for self-care and why is self-care important?
Well, that's all part of the redefine, rebuild, restore. The reason why I went ahead and trademark redefine, rebuild, restore, because there are times in our life where we are redefining ourselves, right? Or we should. Now is the time to be honest with you. If you're looking out into the world, you should not be looking at the world and allowing the world to impact you. We should now be in a mode, listen to me, in a spiritual ear and a third eye right now. We should be building up ourselves as individuals to go out and impact the world. And a lot of that is happening in some social circles right now, as we see on TV, because when people are disagreeing, we're getting out and we're, in the picketing, we're doing what's necessary. We want our voice heard. But the world should not be dictating to you how you should live. If you feel that way right now, then you're not doing enough for yourself inside and retrospect and growth for you to go out and impact the world. That means you're allowing the world to dictate to you how you should think, feel, move, live, or what have you. For redefining that, that's going to take some work. That's going to take some intro retrospect. And rebuilding whatever it is that you have stripped down is a process. But restoration, what you've asked, is restoration should be the time that you take for self-care. Self-care should come first before running yourself in the ground, going after an almighty dollar that's not worth more than 5 cents of the paper that it's printed on. Self-care should actually come first in every step of the process. But the reason why I put it as redefine, rebuild, restore, because restoration is a big part of that, that you need to take an introspective look at yourself. And as you're trying to build, as you're trying to redefine, we also have to take care of our health, especially over age of 40 and 50. I just got things checked out from A to Z in the last couple of weeks. And I know that I need more rest in the process of trying to build a company, because that goes back to feeding your mind with good health of rest. It goes back to feeding your body with, your body is your temple. And if you don't take care of it, then you're not going to be rested, you're not going to be nourished properly, and you're not going to be any good for family, friends, career of any type, or what have you. So I absolutely say we need to intertwine all of that.
Well, it's good to see that you're talking about self-care because that's just something I hold close to my heart when I'm talking to women, because so many women, particularly if they have a family and we're nurturers, they take care of everyone first. And some feel guilty because, oh, I don't want to go to the spa, or I don't want to just take the day off and sleep, or I feel lazy, and I want to remove that from the language when I'm talking to women. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay where, okay, I need to clean up. that you're just laying in the bed and you're tired, because you shouldn't let it get to the point where you're exhausted, because you have to fuel. Just like when you think about this is what I tell some of my clients. You have a car, you have to tune it up every 3,000 miles. That's what you have to do with your body. Because when you put it in the shop, they rotate the wheels, they check everything. That's what you need to do for yourself, for your mind, body, and spirit. So, what's the biggest challenge at the moment that you see in the industry or in the world for people to go ahead and say, I want to sign up for this, or I want to switch my thinking from growth, from the mindset to growth? What do you think is the biggest challenge that you've seen out here?
I think people are just blocking themselves. I think people are out of order, period. I think people are worried about the end game of the green and white in their hand, as opposed to really what is the vision. We're out of order. We're actually, I feel like people are, because we're living in such a microwave world right now, and we see people out in Hollywood, flick a light switch and sell, X amount of units of makeup per second and become instant billionaires. I mean, that's fine and good. I'm not knocking that some people, but they have to understand that that's not everybody's typical life. And what infrared vision is dealing with the people like us every single day who are working our butts off, and we cannot see our own vision. What I want people to understand, if you could hear my voice, is Jackie is living unapologetically for herself. I'm living unapologetically for Mesha. Diana is a lover who chimed in on your show. She's a she is a constant fan of infrared vision. She's living unapologetically for herself. What I'm getting at is, whatever your name is, I want you to put that in a sentence and say, I'm going to start right now and live unapologetically for me. That means, Jackie, you may be comfortable in trying to reach the millionaire status. I may not want to reach the millionaire status. In fact, let's stop talking about our lives in the definition of a number of the green and white. The green and white is a tool.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about what is absolutely going to bring us happiness. You remember when I said something about going back, defining who you are, not through a title, but who you actually are? Who is Mesha? I didn't give you a total definition of who is Mesha, but Mesha right now is a totally free spirit who is happy, right? Everything is not all lining up. I mean, like I told you, I'm not a mother. I'm not married right now, but am I happy with Mesha? Yes, I am. How many people out there are absolutely, can I honestly say, between you and I in the show, are you absolutely happy
True.
with yourself?
That's
We
true.
don't talk about happiness. And what that is when we talk about redefining, we have to go inward and redefine who we are in our own definition of what is going to make you happy. Then you start moving to a phase of rebuilding that. What does that look like? The restoration is to be unapologetic about setting the time aside to make sure that you are absolutely getting those things done for you. If you want to take a day to rest, if you want to take a day off to go get your nails done, do it. You know, chasing a dollar
I agree.
is not going to, that's not what you're going to remember on your last day. Let's go back to 2017 for me. When I was laying in the hospital with cancer inside of my body, I was not thinking about the green and white. What I was thinking about is what I said to, let me share with your audience what I said. I was playing a Fred Hammond song, and I raised my hand to God in that waiting room and I said, Lord, if you let me out this bed one more day, because I hadn't started infrared vision yet, but he had gave it to me like 5 years before that. I said, Lord, if you get me out this bed and get this cancer up out of me, I will promise you that I am going to start this business. Because what it's all about is that at the end of your life, you do not want to be laid up in a bed somewhere going woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Mm-hmm.
And you at some point in your life and at the age after the age of 40 and 50, another thing, we're talking about preparation. By that time you've given so much skills and ability or whatever, you have to also start switching your mindset in the purpose of serving. You are just not on this earth just to be built just to make money, hoard it, keep it for yourself, or do whatever, but you're also built as an individual, as a human being, to serve, give back. And yes, there's a lot of charities that you can write a check to, but what is actually the action that is going to make an impact? I truly feel that there's so much going on in the world that is negative right now. If one each individual that is listening to us right now pick a cause that they are passionate about and take that little football. You know how God says he had a fish and he fed the whole freaking village? If they take one cause and one purpose and go out into the world and hold on to that one cause and purpose and make an impact, we could see a whole different environment out there going on right now. So I want to close out by saying what you asked me about restoration. Restoration should be your human right, or that time that you give it to rebuild yourself so you can be good for the world, good for yourself, and good for others.
And that's what I want people to understand, because for me, there's a lot of charities out there and things like that. I decided to do my own nonprofit because I'm all about, as a sex trafficking survivor, I said I want to be able to mentor young kids, be the person in their lives that I didn't have growing up. So now, October passed, I'm married 33 years. I decided to have an affair, right? And the affair is with Jackie Charles. I decided to date myself. I
Yes.
decided to be unapologetic. I was that way anyway, but I decided to just, girl, I'm loving me. And so often, I hear people throw the word queen around, but they're not walking in queendom or queen, or they're not queen like. So I try to tell people, read the Webster definition of queen, because we have so many people out here who are insecure, and they're running around with the word queen, and what they're doing is hurt people. So we first need to know the definition of queen, walk in it, because I believe, the youngins, as I call them, anyone younger than 40, they're youngins, they're princes and princesses. So you now have to, that's why it's important to have a mentor, whether it's your mom, your father, the past, whomever in your community. I believe in, instead of looking in Hollywood, that's why I created this platform. We don't need to see a Beyonce, a Jay-Z. We have those people in our community, but some of them they have the same skill set, but they have not been given the breaks. They have not been given, because whether it's money, whatever it is, they've not been given that, or they don't have, or they think they don't have the resources. That's why it's so important to have that connection, create a tribe. I have this thing that I say, in order to join our tribe, you must subscribe. So let's create a tribe in our community. Once you start in the community, then it goes out. I am not a fan of supporting overseas when my community is suffering. I don't believe in that. I'm not here. If anyone's doing it, that's fine. I'm not going to send money in mission to some place in, West, whatever, or Philippines, and I'm just saying, for example, when we have people here starving, people who are needing the mentorship or whatever the case may be, and since I use the Philippines, we have people from the Philippines here who need help, who's in the United States. So I believe with taking care of home, your backyard, and then once that happens, then you can go international and things like that.
I agree with you. However, you know what people need to stop doing?
Nope, don't know.
Procrastinating.
Yes, that's a big
Saying no to saying no. What we do when we serve and what we're trying to do when we're making change and we get people on the line and they're inquiring about your services. Let's be real. Anyone listening to me right now, the difference between you and change is your no.
Break it
Your
down. Yep.
no, your no needs to be yes. And it's not no, let me think about it. Is your no is always going to be no because you're not ready. It's not the half the time people want to talk about mentor. There are good mentors and coaches out there. There are bad mentors and coaches out there. There's good people and bad people and everything. However, the fact of the matter is the difference between you and your change is not time. It's your procrastination and your no. And when you change that mindset and actually say yes and let me go ahead and do this, that will begin to start the wheels turning to the change of the direction that you want to go. I can't tell you how many times since I started this business and people have inquired with me, they're like, uh, let me think about it. No,
Ready.
no. But soon as they get off with me, they'll go spend I'm not saying these are my services, but they'll go spend 500 plus on vacation or to get their hair done or, whatever the case may be. And whatever you find that's more important to you. We find money for the things that we want to do. But
Don't we? Don't
yes,
we?
we
Mhm.
do. But then the no comes a lot when you're in this kind of industry because people actually want to find other excuses as to not move forward or change. And I say to people like that is, I don't knock you for not wanting to change, but you go over there and I'll be over here. And then you'll look up 5 years and go, how did you get there? Well, I was moving while you weren't.
Oh no, let's break it down even further, okay? Because I know I'm gonna get some emails after this one. You are so busy. I want y'all to listen. So busy investing in the Louis Vuitton, the red bottom
Oh, I didn't
shoes.
want to go there. So
I'm
if you
not
want to
going
go
there.
there, go
I'm
ahead, go.
going there.
Okay, okay,
I'm
okay,
going
okay,
there. I'm going there.
okay. I'm so happy you get me happy. You go
Yes.
there.
You would invest in red bottom shoes, Louis Vuitton, Steve Madden's, a weave, and I'm not saying that's not bad. I'm not saying that's bad, but what I'm saying is we got to think about our priorities. Our counterparts, our Caucasian women think differently. We keep talking about we need to catch up, we need to catch up. Well, we got Flojo over here. She right over there. So we need to make sure that we have the priorities where we're okay, let's invest in ourselves. Think about it. When you go work for a company, they're investing time, talent, and energy on you. You have to go through training, you get benefits, you have a laptop, you have all those that they're investing in you. You need to now start making it click and invest in yourself because you're the only person you have. You are standing, and I'm going to let you're standing you're standing in the midway of your success because again you're making that other person richer even if you don't want to leave your 9 to 5, but if there's something else you need to do, you got to start investing in yourself.
Right. So people think, oh, well, business will just come together. In the last 3 years, I have invested over $20,000 in myself, in the background of being the face of a CEO. A CEO needs a mentor too. You understand? So people, you need your support system. So would I hold myself back from being better for my prospects or what have you? No, I'm back. I'm exercising my own advice. I'm in the background investing in other mentors and coaches. Every mentor or coach has a coach. In fact, my mentor right now, she got trained by Shark Tank coach who is actually with Mr. Wonderful. So there are connections of higher thinking than you, no matter where it's at. I'll be honest with you. If I'm not qualified in the area that you want, I always have a list of people that I can refer you out to. I do not take people's money just to be taking it. But if I can help you in the mindset arena, and then if you want to go in a different direction, I'm going to make sure I have those resources like Jackie or someone else to refer you out to. But here's the thing that is going back to asking yourself, am I living or just existing? If you are saying to yourself, I feel like I'm just existing, well, again, We have to go inward and redefine, rebuild, and restore what that looks like, because you want to get over to the side of just of living somehow. Living means that you are of life, you are vigor, you are smiling, you're an energy that can't be reckoned with. You know, nothing Jackie says, nothing Diana does can knock me down. I'm telling you, I'm a force now to be reckoned with now that I'm really living. Now, what do you define, Mesha, as living? Living is what you internally feel. It should not be determined by the building, the place, or the size of the house, or what you drive or anything. I had a conference back in 2019, and I said to them, that Mercedes I used to drive, it was a brand and it was very expensive. That big house that I used to live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and Knots Landing, it was a house. There was no love there, so therefore it was just a house. It was not a home. The condo I currently live in now that God bought me is blessed. When you come here, there's a spirit in here that you cannot deny. All my friends and family tell me, and I know the difference because I've been on each side. If you're branding and investing in those things in a brand, you're wasting your money and your time. That's another thing, Jackie. Be careful over the age of 40. What are we investing our time and money in? Because time as we get older is getting shorter. The time between 40 and 70, and whenever you want to retire, and I'm facing that now, I am more looking at where I'm spending my money, where I'm spending my time, because in the next 10, 15 years, I want to be able to retire and not live in poverty. Right now, we currently in the United States of America, we have 68 plus
Mhm.
of people who are living in very much of poverty right now in retirement. You mean to tell me, and I said, I did the math with, I have a mindset and money class, and I did the math, and you mean to tell me over the last decade, if you are an average person that has made 45 to $55,000 a year, we're not talking about higher than that. You have done it. You have made over at least $1.2 million within a decade. Only 30% of that goes to Uncle Sam. So what did you do with the other 70%? When you think about that kind of math and you're looking at zero and checking and savings, you have to rethink. I'm not knocking the mistakes, we've all made them. But when you're looking at time that you have now between 40 and 50 and 70, and also taking care of your health and being blessed to live that long, we have to start thinking and doing things differently and watching where our money goes, watching where we're going, what we're doing, or what have you, a little bit better. Because you're right, our counterparts have learned things and have done things that accept them, that have set them freer. But we have, some of us, especially in the African American community, we have just focused on living paycheck to paycheck. And we were never designed just to do that. We do have to have a bigger infrared vision and allow someone to speak into you and teach you to switch that from that fixed mindset thinking to that growth mindset thinking.
And that's why, for me, I agree with you because I have, I think, a total of 7 mentors right now. Each mentor serves a different purpose. And, you know, for me, I don't want to, and I haven't, and I think I've been this way as a kid. I don't just exist, I've always lived. I live my life when I wake up. Sometimes I can't wait for the sun to shine. When I'm up, like this morning, my husband and I, we were up since 4 o'clock this morning. I have not taken a nap. I am here because I just love life. I have, when someone asks me, how do you describe yourself, Jackie? I love this word, effervescence, because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
bubbly stuff, and that's how I describe myself because I just love life and I love light as well. I'm allergic to negative Nellies. I'm attracted to positive Pollies because if you're negative, and I'm all about energy. I'm all about energy. If you have negative energy, I can't deal with that. Life, we are, think about this. We have, I want to use the word escape the pandemic. We're alive. We can consider ourselves among the land of the living. So most, how many deaths have been have been pronounced today in a hospital, right? So use this time to do whatever it is you want to do. If you want to jump out of an airplane, if you want to, because I don't want to be shoulda, woulda, coulda, because you hear about people in the hospital beds and that's what has happened to them. Like, what's his name? Steve Jobs. He didn't really live life. He just wanted to work, 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 work. He was a billionaire. He died, had cancer and died. And now, he was saying, or from what I'm hearing, that he wished he had spent more time with his children, right? I don't want the woulda, shoulda, coulda. Money is a tool to give you certain access to things. You don't have to work. You can contribute to nonprofits, contribute to your community, create a nonprofit, have vacation, things like that. But at the end of the day, you got to have someone who's going to ride or die for you, because I'm that chick. I'm going to bring the shovel. And I'm not going to ask you what you need the shovel for. I'm going to bring the shovel. So I just want everyone to know that, Mesha, you are just an inspiration. Having you on here, we have to have you on again, honey, because, you getting people's mind right. And I'm not trying to talking to women about relationships, because right now it's like the men who are out there telling women how to live their life, how to date, how to do that. And I'm like, okay, now is the time to step in and talk to women. Yes, something was going on with her phone. She's going to tap back in. So I just want people to understand: live your life, live your authentic life. This is the only life you have left, so do it. Just read some books. There's always stuff on YouTube. Live your life to its fullest. You deserve it. You deserve it. So without further ado, we're closing out. We want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Women Are Worthy Network. We're going to have, this is a platform I created for women and men to come on and talk about how the challenges they faced, how did they overcome it? We have people from millionaires to everyday mom and dad just talking about life. So that's why we're here, to support each other. So, we're tapping out now. We want to thank everyone for tuning in. Mesha, you are phenomenal. Again, she is the CEO and founder of Infrared Vision. I put
Yes.
her social media handles all over social media. Okay, reach out to her if you're looking to move your mindset to growth, and if you want to restore your life and rest. She's going to be doing
Yeah,
some awesome things.
sorry about that interruption there, but I just wanted to end with this is, this is a no judgment zone here, as far as if you choose to be a part of infrared. The passion that, Jackie and I wanted to bring to you today is that stagnation, procrastination, no movement, ego, things of those natures keep you blocked. And I would say that you got to move those things out the way. You got to move those ideologies out the way, because we all are human. We all have evolved in ways that, kind of block our minds and make us think. But our thoughts, if they're not freed up to grow and create and become a different individual than you used to be, you're just going to stay in the same place, and that's just not totally living. You understand? So we just really got to shift our mindsets and be willing to do it first, and just to move forward, if you can all possibly do that.
And we want to thank you for just being a wonderful guest. Welcome to our village. We thank you for being part of our tribe, Miss Mesha. And
Yeah.
we're going to bring you back on because there's some other things that we can talk about. Because I think, as you mentioned, stagnation. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, stagnation, when there's when you have blood stagnation in your body, it's not flowing, and then that can lead eventually to death. So think about a spiritual death, a mental death, a physical death. So we have to think about those things about procrastination and stagnation. So you need to move from point A, which, Misha's not talking about moving you from point A to B. She's talking about moving you from point A to Z. You got that? A to Z. So again, we want to thank everyone for tuning in to our platform. We had a wonderful, great conversation. I love these conversations. Tune in tomorrow night when we have Sharon Winbush. She's going to be talking about, she is the Olivia Pope, so to speak, and she was the best friend of Donda West. That's Kanye West's mom, who has passed. This woman has just some amazing things that we're going to be talking about. So thank you, Miss Diana Parker. You are just phenomenal. We appreciate you. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And ladies and gentlemen, when you're watching the show, I have Mesha's information. Make sure you follow her. Call her. She brings results. Okay. If you're not looking for results, don't call her. Okay. If you're not looking to put in the work, don't call her.
Thank
Okay?
you, Jackie. I appreciate you saying that.
Don't waste her
Don't,
time. Don't waste your time. Okay. And
exactly.
if you're looking to be happy and you're looking to just be one with nature, be one with God, living your life's purpose, then you got to call this woman. Call this queen because she knows what she's talking about. So without further ado, we want to thank everyone for tuning in. Bye. Have a terrific Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Women Are Worthy Network on YouTube. Bye, everyone.
God bless you.
God bless.